After 8 months, I finally have a job, he guts. After 8 months of phone calls, interviews, being ghosted, and depressive episodes, I finally landed a job. It is not my dream job, and it pays decently, but I'm glad to finally be able to do something and get more experience under my belt. Hell, even make some friends. I had 2 interviews for this position, and I start tomorrow, and I'm so nervous. Lol. Brief background. I graduated with a marketing degree early 2018, then found a job straight after. I worked there as a junior marketer for 2 years and then was let go in the middle of 2020 due to COVID. I've been job hunting ever since. I probably applied for 400-500 jobs and received many phone calls, resulting in 21 interviews. Resulting in 20 design. Honestly, I was super thankful to at least get some interviews. A lot of them went fantastic. I improved so much over time, but kept on getting declined. It became very upsetting, especially for the jobs that seemed perfect. I wanted to put together some tips and things I've picked up through my job search. Maybe it can help someone out there. Always dress your best. Even for Zoom interviews. I initially didn't wear a suit jacket to interviews because I didn't think it mattered for jobs that weren't in the city. But I noticed it helped with my own confidence and also made me stand out of the crowd. So I wore one to all interviews. Try to start the interview by introducing yourself first: education, main job, and what you did at the job. This way you will lay out the foundation for other questions and won't be off-put if the interview runs a different course. Ask questions throughout the interview and look genuinely curious. Have sort of a bank of questions ready to go when they ask any questions. My go-to questions are: what are your expectations or goals within 3 months of hiring someone? And what is the hierarchy of management within your business when implementing a new campaign? Lie a little bit, but exaggerate more, especially on your resume. I know it is controversial, but I lied about subtle things on my resume that can't be specifically tracked, and I exaggerated figures by increasing the numbers on some marketing-related data. Fake it till you make it. Do it and forget it. Once you've had an interview or a phone screening, don't dwell on it. That's fantastic. I'm so happy for you. I can totally relate to you about the new friends aspect, haha. I really hope I meet some like-minded people when I find a job as well. I don't have much advice, but I guess don't be afraid to ask questions. It is okay to ask for help if you are not sure. It will be scary, but give yourself 2 weeks to really settle in. I would love to grab a template of your resume. Well done on getting the job. My advice would be to ask questions when you aren't sure on things, and don't stress too much if you feel like things could be going better but no one says anything to you. Congrats. I feel so happy and proud when I read posts like this one. Ooh, congratulations. This is great to hear. As someone who's also been let go unemployed for 8 months, this was really encouraging. Best of luck with the new role. Ethos arrange 41 hours, so thank you. Best of luck to you too. You got this. 4-1 reply, share, report, save. Congratulations. I'm so glad all your hard work finally paid off. If you are a perfectionist like me, my tip is don't be afraid to ask questions or to make mistakes. Also, if it is relatively slow in the beginning, be patient, because depending on the job, it can take a while for tasks to be delegated over to you. So enjoy the transition and try to learn as much as possible. Even though you maybe feel like this is your time to shine and impress them, don't put too much pressure on yourself, because I've learned you are more likely to burn out. And finally, because this seems like a reoccurring theme in my work life, don't let competitive or arrogant coworkers get to you. It actually bothers them more when you don't let them bother you or interfere with your self-confidence. Just remain focused on being the best you, what you bring to the table, and work becomes much easier. Congratulations. That is some really great advice. Thank you for sharing. Congratulations. I've actually met my at the current job, so I hope you will meet some nice and funny people also. Congrats. Do you have any tips on managing and faring through the constant rejections and endless ghosting from recruiters, especially as time ticks on and it doesn't seem like there's an end in sight? Ethos arranged 57 minutes ago. Thanks, it's tough. I'd wake up to a few automatic response rejections every day. That's why I mentioned it, not to dwell on any part of the job-seeking process above. Just get it done and dusted. Delete your archive all rejections straight away. Vote form reply share report save. Similar field. Looking for marketing manager positions so I can use my MBA finishing in April. What sites did you use for finding jobs? Which ones gave you the best success? Congrats and all the best. Your post gives me hope. Ethos arranged 55 minutes ago. Best of luck. You got this. A vote, reply, share, report, save. Lying is really dumb. Don't do it. I'm serious. Shouldn't you have learned this lesson back in high school? Employers and companies always lie. In my case, it did no harm. If saying some harmless little lies can get you the job, why not do it? Unemployed for almost a year now. I don't know how to keep remaining positive. I'm usually a software engineer, but I've been out of work for almost a year now. Every now and then I used to get interviews, but it seems the longer I'm unemployed, the less interest people have in me. It is only natural for someone to think if he were any good, someone would have snatched him up by now. I've been using this time to grind out some LeetCode stuff, but even if I can solve the problems, it is still not good enough. I'm beginning to think it is in the way I present myself or speak. I think I may be telegraphing lack of confidence, desperation, or a depressed emotional state. It is hard for me to be aware of that because I'm just trying my best to climb out of this hole, but I'm sure it is glaringly obvious when someone who has interviewed many other candidates listens to me. My coping mechanism up until now has been you were just looking at this the wrong way and you just need to keep trying, or you were just feeling sorry for yourself. All of it could be true, but I also realize I'm simply avoiding my emotions or denying myself any acknowledgement of my issues. I would like to actually improve my emotional state. To make an analogy, it feels like I let all the air out of my tires, and all of the advice I hear or encouragements I give myself tell me I need to upgrade my engine, practice more, or just wipe my windshield or turn on my defogger, look at things differently. And like a car whose tires are growing more deflated by the day, I feel it harder to keep marching on. The very air I breathe feels stale and stagnant. At times it feels suffocating. I can tune up the engine. I can wipe my windshields, but I can't just create more air by myself. I've never felt like this before because I've never had to deal with being so isolated for so long. Even before I was unemployed and even before COVID-19, it felt like I always held positions where I was isolated from peers. Sometimes I'd go months at a time without having a real conversation with anyone. I live alone and I've also moved around a lot, so I don't get to keep friends for too long. The first couple of months to a year of this was okay, but I believe I've developed genuine mental health issues from living like this for several years. For you, living Even now, I feel a massive amount of anxiety just typing this out because I am making myself vulnerable by reaching out. I feel like something really bad is about to happen, even though I know nothing will. I'm not as sharp as I used to be. I'm not as smart as I used to be. I can't concentrate like I used to. I can't focus on anything. It is like my brain wants me to fix the more fundamental issues on Maslow's hierarchy of needs, and a sense of belonging and social needs takes precedent over self-actualization. Dude, keep your head up. I had to quit my last job because I donated an organ, was out of work for 6 months, and my job search started January of 2020. Haven't been employed for a year and a half. Nothing yet, but as soon as 2020 ended, I've at least been getting a lot of interviews compared to last year. As a fellow long-term unemployed person, I wish you the best. Things will turn around for us, but it's up to us to make it happen. Same here, Ree. A year and a half. It's tough. Hope you find something soon, also in the year and a half boat. I've been substitute teaching as I can, but the school closures have obviously made that inconsistent. It's nice to know I'm not alone in this. Sending you good vibes for better days ahead. Denver, but 1987. 4 hours ago my job search started. January of 2020. Horrible timing. lol. 42 reply share report save. I'm so sorry for what you were going through. If you want to, shoot me a DM. We can organize a call or something. Do a mock interview and I can give you feedback to let you know how to improve. Stay strong. Proper scratch 4,914 49 Norzaga. Thanks. That's extremely generous of you to lend out your time like that. I really appreciate it, and I'll keep your profile in my pocket. It was already helpful to put my feelings into words and have them heard. 28 form reply share report save. There are fiscal incentives for companies to hire the unemployed right now. It might be a good time to really amp up your applications. My colleague currently applying is submitting 100 apps a week. It's a numbers game. Suni Pigana 7 hours ago. How is he doing? 100 a week. 413 reply share report save. A lot of what you said resonates with me. I've also been unemployed for almost a year. I also have the added problem of my age. Most employers don't want to hire someone over 45. Maybe try to get a lower level job just so you can start at a company and work your way up. It sounds like you were doing the right things. Post this too. Talk about your current experience and such. You'll probably get good advice. I'm so sorry for what you were going through. Thank you. I reposted it to that subreddit. And thank you also for your empathy. I'm going to start by saying it is very normal and expected to feel so exhausted and beat down after trying to prove yourself and having no one take a chance on you for so long. However, reading your post, I did find myself relating to you just a bit too much not to warn you that part of the feeling of isolation and inadequacy sounds like it could be caused by clinical depression. I've been diagnosed with depression for nearly a decade, so I know what it feels like. I am definitely not a doctor, but I'd highly recommend you see one and talk about how you've been feeling and see if treatment could be right for you. It is totally up to feel the way you're feeling even if you do not have depression. It is like climbing Everest. But it might be worth investigating if you could get some help with the mental part of it that may be the cause of your overwhelming emotional fatigue. If you need antidepressants or therapy and you were not getting them, suddenly it is like you were trying to climb Everest without hiking shoes. Go see if you need some new boots. Yes, Op needs to go speak with their doctor. Everything about this reminded me of myself before I was diagnosed. I knew I was sad and happy, but when I actually spoke to Mike, she felt I was so depressed she considered having me sent to a psych ward. Sometimes it takes someone on the outside to make you see these things clearly. What kind of job are you looking for? Proper scratch 4,914 40. Seeing Nors ago right now being a software engineer is what most qualified for 411. Reply share report save. Dude start well Butrin. Fix the brain fog right up. Maybe if you can't find software engineering job, you could find some basic work to do in the meantime. For example, I do it for a bank. But hospitals need them. Its solution companies need them. You could probably be in too if you wanted to, depending on your experience. So you recommend it? My therapist has suggested it, but I am terrified of taking meds. Mom put me on meds as a kid and it turned me into an anxiety-ridden zombie for most of elementary and middle school. I know beggars can't be choosers, but professionals are a complete different track than software engineering. They solve different problems and usually spend their time setting up company infra. That said, entry level at work is meaningless and useless to all. His time money is better spent focusing on improving his interview skills. To Op, it's okay to be unemployed an entire year. Honestly, it's sometimes a blessing to not have a job for so long. Enjoy it while you can, but make sure you are doing your due diligence as well. I did it for a large corporation a decade and a half ago. Do users still treated people like shit for solving their problems? If it helps, I was unemployed for 50 weeks before finally getting a new position, and I really like the company. It would suck to get the occasional interview for a position I was perfect for and then get turned down. Or worse, apply for a position that I was perfect for and never hearing anything. But I kept applying because sooner or later, I knew something had to land. You might think about taking a part-time gig just to get you working and it helping your mindset. Something like a call center or pizza place, depending on how comfortable you are. I would not go full-time unless you need to for covering bills. That way you can still job search and not get too burnt out. Also, there's a subtenant or two that will take a look at your resume, and if needed and feasible, see your doctor. Keep your head up. I just started at my new job after 9 months of unemployment. What helped me was to change my strategy. 1. Hired a resume writer that helped me hit keywords and make my points actionable, results-oriented. I ended up rewriting their resume to sound more me while keeping the good parts. 2. Started applying to jobs that I felt I was only partially qualified for, in a higher salary and responsibility bracket. I'm really bad at not thinking my previous work is good enough and undervaluing myself. 3. I searched out companies that were past startup phase and were in active growth mode, but not fully corporate. I want to work for people, not a corporate robot, but I also want them to be bestable enough to pay me a good salary. This means they actually look at the applications. Sometimes it takes a bit of work to find these types of positions and to research the company because they were not listed on Indeed. Since I have been home since April and I'm a bit antisocial anyway, I had a lot of anxiety about going back to work and interacting with people again, and I also panicked about not having time anymore to do all things I was doing, like playing with my dogs and cleaning house. I don't do well in public anymore. I get the jeebies. COVID has also messed with my mental health. Thankfully, my new position is remote, but the office is still in my city and I only have to interact with people during stand-ups and on Slack. Hey man, software dev here. Been through cycles of employment, so I have a feel for the interview process. Send me your resume and then maybe we can go over some stuff with interviews. So I have a for the interview. We interview over I can help do some mock technical interviews as well. Corporate recruiter here. Happy to take a look at your resume and see if I have anyone in my network that are looking. Have you considered any risk jobs through hospital systems? I just know they've been hiring like crazy. Feel free to DM me with your info if you're comfortable, and I'm happy to support how I can. First, if you're struggling with your mental state, I'd suggest therapy, journaling, or some other form of internal development. It's totally normal and a worthy pursuit. As for getting your career kick-started, I cannot recommend networking enough. By networking, I mean sending messages to professionals who have the position you want on LinkedIn, reaching out to past colleagues you had positive experiences with, and cold emailing. Ask for a brief chat to learn about their work. Do not ask for a job straight away, but foster a human connection. It's more about the practice of talking to people in a professional setting than negotiating a position, but it also increases your chances of getting a lucky job. Realize nothing and no one is gonna pull you out of this but yourself. Can't get a job, up the scales. Get a level higher of pressure is either do this or give up, and give up gives you more problem than it solves, so go after it, no matter what it takes. You don't fucking care, because you're a survivor. Now go get it. Proper scratch 4,914 76 hours ago, edited hours ago, rewrite. Maybe I needed to hear this from someone else instead of hearing it from myself all the time. 45. Reply, share, report, save. I see a lot of comments here addressing the job search situation. I feel you there sounds like some serious social isolation. I know how it feels. You can get through it if you got family you can talk to. I try talking to them more. Try to engage in conversation more. Even if it is a "how you doing today" remark to the mailman or a neighbor, it counts as interaction. Also try to see a therapist if you are not seeing one already. They can help you more than anyone on Reddit. Why at the current situation, you might have to look at online options in that case. Also, this is Reddit. Try to engage in any sub related to your interests. A 2-minute exchange in the comments is better than no exchange at all. That's all I can really tell you. A professional would serve you better advice than I. I wish you the best in your job search and in life. It must be really bad out there. Even a really bad software engineer with an attitude problem and a chip on his shoulder could land a job under normal circumstances, I would think, due to demand. I would use your time best you can to be productive, just to say you did some things. Take classes, work on your house hobbies. A few thoughts below. I'm not saying any of this is the case, but just trying to help. 1. What made you be unemployed? If a reasonable recruiter would frown upon the reason, white lie as much as you can. If he can't tell a white lie and must tell the truth, try to still bend the truth in a favorable light. Don't be a pity party. 2. Look yourself in the mirror and ask yourself, are you honestly on a full-time job hunt? Especially since you are unemployed, you have a ton of free time to look. I feel like some people complain about how much a job search sucks when all they are doing are filling out 5 click ads a week. You really should be spending a majority of the daytime looking for jobs. 3. Linfer, you are applying for jobs that meet your current skill set. Just make sure this is accurate. You could spend a year applying for jobs you aren't qualified for, hoping a company will take a chance on you, but this is in fact incredibly unlikely. You may need further education for. Perhaps you got a generous salary, maybe even overpaid for your skill level in your last role. As much as it sucks, you may just have to accept a lower salary than what you were previously making, but just think how sure it is a lower salary, but your mental health will be improved. 5. Your job hunting methods clearly aren't working. Recruiters get a bad rap, but I got my last job through a recruiter. Maybe try meetup networking events. Anything helps if it helps you cope. Know that it is a significant number of people are unemployed or underemployed for years. It doesn't make you any less of a person. There are plenty of people who on paper have amazing careers, but are still in debt up to their eyeballs and may hate their lives for a variety of reasons.
Like and subscribe for more Reddit content. Watch the next video at the top of your screen.